By any objective measure, the Pentagon under Pete Hegseth's leadership is an unprecedented train wreck. I won't repeat all the egregious acts that have been shared multiple times over in this hearing, but I will say this: none of this is normal. None of this is right. Every new revelation exposes yet another instance of shocking and gross incompetence from the Secretary of Defense, and each time we do nothing but reward him with more money, we are complicit. And while Pete Hegseth scours the Pentagons for leakers, hoping that each new day doesn't yield yet another horrible news story because he's clearly trying to fake it till he makes it, the American people are right there with him because it's their friends and families, their livelihoods, our national security on the line. Nothing we have seen in the past 3 months leads me to believe that this Secretary of Defense has the leadership and managerial skills, the judgment, or the executive temperament to run the Pentagon. Worse, he is normalizing a dangerous culture of practice where retribution, security breaches, firing, and attrition through intimidation is both commonplace and acceptable. It's fair to say that the mistakes he has made on the job more than justify his immediate dismissal, because our service members and their families deserve better. The President of the United States deserves better. Our nation deserves better than what Pete Hegseth has offered us so far. If President Trump refuses to hold his own Secretary of Defense accountable, even as his administration purchased thousands of federal employees who do have the skills, the judgment, and the temperament to do their jobs, then clearly Congress must step in. This amendment is simple and necessary. Secretary Hegseth clearly doesn't know how to do his job. We need to make him get his act together by putting him and his entire Senate-confirmed leadership team through a managerial and supervisory training program that makes clear what's right and what's wrong. This is not a radical idea, nor is this any kind of harsh punishment. Millions of Americans every day go through similar trainings on a regular basis. Employees who are not delivering on their job, unable to do their job, are often put on performance improvement plans and tasked with completing these kinds of trainings so they can actually get the job done. This amendment is also about fiscal responsibility. We should not be giving anyone the authority to spend an additional $150 billion on top of the over $850 billion in DOD's discretionary budget with as little oversight and accountability as my Republican colleagues are proposing today. Least of all, someone who has proven to be so incapable of serving as Secretary of Defense right now. If Republicans are going to give Secretary Hegseth this sort of virtually unchecked spending authority, a blank check paid for by taxpayers, taken literally from food money and Medicaid, then we should all demand oversight in who wields these funds. And we have to make sure he does his job in a way that does not compromise our national security. No matter what party is in charge, we all want and should demand a Secretary of Defense that will succeed and keep us safe. When they do, our nation is stronger and we are safer. While I will continue to have significant disagreements with this administration and their national security policy, I and countless millions of Americans need, deserve, demand to know that our Secretary of Defense is willing to admit when they've made a mistake or exhibited a severe lack of judgment and is willing to accept corrective action and guidance on how to do their job right. To vote no is to be both complicit and approving of the gross incompetence of the Secretary and is a danger to this country's national security, promoting a culture of chaos that they are establishing right now at the Pentagon. To vote no is to accept responsibility and to be culpable for Pete Hegseth's behavior as is unchecked. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment and to vote yes. I yield back.
Generally yields back, Chair, and recognizes himself. This amendment requires basic security information training already prescribed by law and regulations. Everyone with a clearance is briefed on proper handling of classified information and must sign an appropriate oath. The amendment has no practical effect and seeks to hold hostage nearly $40 billion for defense modernization. I urge our members to oppose it.